Welcome back to Dungeonquest 3rd edition. We are playing Lindel. He has 1 wound out of 15 hit points. He has an unstable potion. He's already used his teleportation amulet to get across the chasm. And here he is. And he avoided, I think, another spear trap in that room. So let's continue. Of course, the first thing we do on the turn is we move the sun tracker, which, as you can see, is creeping very quickly down the track. And I'm just going to continue moving this way into the next adjacent location. We draw a random tile out of the bag. And what do we get this time? Okay, we get just a regular dungeon room. So we're going to draw a dungeon card. It can search this room. It has a 4-way passage, so that's pretty good. Of course, we always put the tile from where we came from. So when placing this tile, it's going to be placed this way. So that's pretty good. Pretty good. All right. We're going to draw a dungeon deck card and find out that we are attacked by razor wings. Oh, lovely. It says roll a die and subtract 2 from the result to determine how many wounds the razor wings inflict. Okay, so let's get to the dice tray. We're going to roll 1 die and we're going to subtract 2 from it, and that's how much damage we will potentially take. Okay, razor wings attacking us. We roll a 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. At least that's what it was in my day back in math class. All right, so the razor wings do us no damage, so that's pretty good. Back to the board. Let's continue moving. And the first thing we do on the turn, of course, is move the sun tracker. And yes, it's getting closer. All right, zoom in on the board. We're going to move another. All right, well, I like the 4-way passage here. It gives us a little more options. We need to get up here, so we can either go west or north. Let's try going north. Again, we reach in the bag. We draw a random token out of the bag, and what do we get this time? Oh, we just get a regular dungeon tile, the white arrow dungeon tile. We can search this room. Of course, we haven't been doing that, and we're going to place that down on the board. All right, so we entered from this way. We are there. We draw a dungeon deck card, and we find another dead adventurer. You may search the body for treasure. If you choose to do so, draw a corpse card. Well, that can be good, and it can be very bad. But let's go ahead and we're going to rifle through the dead body. Oh, great. Another scorpion. It says roll a die and subtract 2 from the result. Determine how many wounds the scorpion inflicts. All right, so I guess a lot of scorpions in this dungeon snacking on dead bodies. Let's get out the dice tray. Roll a die and subtract 2 and see what damage it does to us. All right, the scorpion attacks 1. Wow, good stuff. His luck is low in this game. He only has a 5, but boy, he's been lucky on the dice rolls. All right, no damage from the scorpions. Let's continue moving on. Tracker continues to go. You can see the line here. That's the halfway point of the board and the halfway point of the sun tracker. So zoom in back on Lindel and get him moving. All right, Lindel can almost smell that dragon horde treasure. So yes, going to move 1 space to the left. Going to reach in. We're going to grab a random tile. And what do we get this time? Ooh, okay. Oh, this is pretty good. We get a corridor, which means, of course, you immediately move again, and you keep going. So, and it's on your same turn, too, so you don't actually move the sun tracker again. So you just immediately move again. He's going to move north. So, wow, that gives us a little bit of extra speed. And so we pull another tile out of the bag, and what do we get? We get another corridor. So same thing. You place it down, you just keep moving. No encounters. However, it doesn't go directly into the dragon's lair. That's not good. But we just keep going. Another random tile. What do we get this time? Ooh, okay. We get just a regular dungeon room. So we're going to be drawing a dungeon deck card. But it's a 4-way intersection. So that's really good for us. So we're going to place that here. We move into the intersection, and yes, we have to draw a dungeon deck card, and we get an empty. That's good. This room is empty. Nothing happens. Not too bad at this point in time. Wow. So let's zoom in the sun track. We're going to be, I think, just about crossing the halfway point, but we're almost to the dragons. All right, the sun, high noon almost, just about to the halfway point. Back to the map. Let's keep moving. All right, well, we can go north or we can go east. Obviously, we're going to head north, and we're going to pull out a random tile, and what do we get? Ooh, this is pretty good. Another four-way intersection. It has a door, though, which is going to lead into the dragon's lair, but that's pretty cool. Searchable, and this is where we enter from. So, looking at that, we have a door to go into the lair. This is pretty good, but of course we get a dungeon deck card, and we get another empty room. Not going to complain about that. Not going to complain about that at all. So we're going to do a little bit of cheating here. I think we can see it. Our sun tracker is going to cross the halfway point, and we are going to use the door. So we're going to open, we're going to try to open the door. The door opens as well. Move through the door into the adjacent space. Well, that is really good luck for us. So boom, we move into the dragon's lair. And what we do when we move in there is we are going to draw. So shuffle this deck up. We're going to draw a dragon card. So this is the top card. And let's hope that he is asleep. He is sleeping. Awesome. And so we get to draw 2 treasure cards. And on your next turn, you may either exit the treasure chamber or stay and draw another dragon card. Well, we're obviously going to draw 2 treasure cards. So there's a treasure card deck, which is a great big deck. So we're going to draw 2 of them. Our first treasure is an artifact eater. If you exit Dragonfire Dungeon, you may roll 2 dice. At the end of the game, discard one of your other loot cards at random. 6 to 12, the chest has a gold value multiplied by 100. And yes, we have the Harp of Tranquility. Whenever you loot this treasure, you may draw 2 dragon cards instead of 1. You may discard the harp at the start of the turn. Okay, so that's what we get for our loot. And let's continue to get... Now we have to get out of here, of course, so we'll continue with that. All right, so it's time to get out of here. So the sun tracker moves 1. Let's go zoom back in on the board, and of course we have a chasm here, so we can't just go back the way we came, which is pretty terrible for us. So we're going to have to find another way out of here and hope we don't run out of time. Oh, and I should mention that this acts as 1 space, so you don't actually move 1 space to here. But we're going to exit. We're going to exit south out of the dragon's chamber. We don't want to hang around in there, have him wake up. And of course, we get to pull out a random tile, and the random tile we pull out. Ooh, another good one for us. Another regular room. It's searchable, but it's a 4-way passage, so that's pretty awesome. I'm going to put that there. And yes, we draw a dungeon card. And we get empty. This room is empty. Nothing happens. Good, because we're trying to get out of here and escape Dragonfire Dungeon. All right, we're going to zoom back into the sun tracker, do a couple of more turns, and then I think we're going to call it a day. All right, the race is on. We got to get out of here. One more move of the sun tracker. Let's go back to the board and keep Lindel moving. All right, we're going to go south. This intersection, we draw a random token out of the bag, and we get a portcullis room, which doesn't bother me too much. And of course, we're going to have to draw a dungeon card. The portcullis slams down behind us, but that's okay. We're going to keep moving. We have another empty room, and that, again, not going to complain. It's not something that kills us. All right. I think I'm going to keep going south here. I'm going to try to get over to this exit here. Or maybe, yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to see. We're going to have to see which direction we're going to go by pulling a random token. All right, the sun tracker moves once again, starting to get a little orange colored here. And as you can see, our time is getting a little limited. It's back to the board and move. All right, we're going to go south. Reach into the bag, grab a random token, random dungeon tile, and what do we have? Another portcullis room. So searchable, We're going to draw a dungeon card to place it down. So another portcullis slams down behind us. Again, not really too concerned. Draw a dungeon deck card. And we have a passage down. It says, place a catacomb entrance marker of the chamber. Next turn you may enter the catacombs if you wish. Well, what that means is we get to place one of these little catacomb markers on here. And we can go down to the catacombs if we desire it. But my desire is to get out of this exit as fast as I can. I think we're going to do one more turn, and that's going to be it. All right, the sun tracker moves once more. It's going to be our last turn for this episode. Let's go over to the board and see what happens to Lindel. All right, we're going to continue going west. Into the bag. We're going to pull out a random tile. Oh, I don't know if I like this one. We have a bottomless pit. Oh no. Test luck. If you succeed, you make it across the pit, and you take your next turn as normal. If you fail, you have fallen into the pit and are killed. Well, that might have been a false step. Wow, let's see if we fall into the bottomless pit, never to return. Our luck is 5. Let's get rolling the dice. During all this excitement, I can't remember if I rolled 5 or 6 dice. You feel lucky, punk? All right, let's get the rolling of the luck dice. Oh, yeah. Snake Eyes, which would have been terrible on the unstable potion, is perfect for the bottomless pit. It's testing our luck. We have succeeded because we needed to roll a 5 or less. No problem. Then that's going to be the end of the chasm, or the bottomless pit. Wow, we dodged it. Okay, back to the board. Okay, well that was a little hairy. That was just one indication of how things can go severely wrong in this game very quickly. There's a few rooms like that. There's a few traps like that. You make a bad roll, you're toast. So far, so good. We've gotten to the Dragon's Lair. We've stolen the Harp of Tranquility, which I believe must have been the big treasure we were looking for. We're trying desperately to get out of here before the sun goes down. The dragon wakes up and starts roaming the halls looking for delicious elf adventurers. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Join me next time for, I am sure, the conclusion to Dungeonquest 3rd Edition. Can Lindel make it out of the dungeon alive, or is he going to become a dragon snack, or succumb to an evil trap, or other horrible end? All right, thanks for watching. Join me next time for Dungeonquest 3rd Edition.